Normally I pay attention to what I'm doing, normally, but I'm walking right along here. Let me show you, you got to hang on here. And right about here, I hear a rattle. And sure enough, there he is. Yeah, he's not very happy. So I don't want him to strike my camera and break my lens, but he was rattling a bunch and warned me. But he's cool right now. But I was right here. I was standing. I mean, this is where I am, how close I am to him. And oh my gosh, there's two of them. Look at that. I didn't even see that. There's a baby, a smaller one right there. And I see that he is a little rattled. There's two rattles right there, and then the big one is right here. So, and I was less than 1.5 feet from them, so wearing just shorts. And normally I'm walking all the way over here. I'm about half a mile from our campway down there, and I'm always watching what I'm doing, but this time I didn't. So hey everybody, hey, guess what? We only got about 10 days left. We only have about 10 days left here in Nevada. We're finishing up a bunch of our medical stuff, and we're going to say goodbye to beautiful Lake Mead that's actually dropping drastically in its water levels. Lake Powell and Lake Mead are really being sucked dry by this drought that they're having out here. Anyway, I want to talk about surviving financially as a nomad. A lot of you guys are watching the videos just for fun, and other folks are watching it because you're really trying to figure out what you're going to do next in your life. And one of the questions is, how do you make money? So I want to talk about that in just a second. However, first of all, just to cover a couple of things. Fishing has been great. Marvy has been catching a lot of fish. I have, and we have a friend Tom who's been camping near us. And boy, we just caught a bunch of striper. Take a look. All right, Tom's got another one.
This one's a little bit bigger than the other one.
Yeah? Huh.
Put up a little bit more of a fire. You gonna go underwater?
Yeah, I'll go underwater, give him a shot. Stay there, Jax.
There he is.
Right here. Come on. All right, go ahead and bring him up.
No, he's about the same size. They're all good size. Yeah, a little more energy than the other ones did. Perfect.
Skin and no skin. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so another thing was we had to go in town. Besides, I had to have surgery on my fingers. It's getting better. The stitches come out next week, but my hand is feeling better. I had trigger finger. Look it up if you don't know what it is. And so I think that's all well and mending. I also had to drop a lot of money on the front end of my vehicle. If anybody has done any substantial amount of time boondocking or going on dirt roads, you know, that washboard and all of that, plus the fact that we have a 2003 Chevy van, the front end was kind of gone on it, and I bought it, and the steering box leaked for 2 years, and I was worried that that seal might blow out and leave us stranded. So I got a new steering box, a new arm that connects it to the steering column to eliminate the play. We got front brakes. We have new rotors put on, and tightened up on all the ball joints, and everything looked great. We had new ball joints a while ago, so it feels really good on the front end. We went to George's Front End and Brake Center, I think it's called, and they did a great job. Jody and Jeff are the owners, and so I would highly recommend them. He's been doing it for a long time. They've got really good Google reviews. I'll put a link to their name below. I don't know if they have a website. I think they have a channel. Anyway, my point is, if you are in the Vegas area and you need some suspension or front end work done, give them a call. I think they do things at a fair price, and certainly did a really good job on ours. Okay, so, and they did not give me a discount for saying this or any of that. I always like to support local communities, businesses whenever possible, either financially or at least sharing them. You know, as you know, mechanics, honest or good mechanics, are hard to find. So I recommend giving these guys a holler. Okay, let's now talk about money. Surviving financially as a nomad, what does that mean? Well, first of all, any change in your life, any drastic change in your life, you got to consider that as a liberating experience, okay? You just got to kind of be excited about it. And so what do you do on the road? Well, the basic thing is, if you don't need to do anything on the road, if you've got a good Social Security, a good pension, or investments that are paying off, good for you. Most people don't. We certainly don't, you know. My first recommendation is don't change what you do. If you really, my dad used to, some people say, you know, well, you know, it doesn't matter what you do, just be the best at it. And that's what my dad used to say, just be the best at it. And again, I say, don't be the best at anything, just be doing what you want to do. If you're the best at it, great, but do what you want to do. And so if what you're doing now is something you enjoy, then just keep doing it, okay? It's just that simple. But I want to talk about 3 areas to think about if you're on the road and you need to work. First would be a brick and mortar idea. The second one would be seasonal jobs, and another one would be as a digital nomad. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about brick and mortar jobs. When you talk about brick and mortar, some people now call it sticks and bricks, but that's kind of relating to houses. Businesses are brick and mortar. If you have a job somewhere and it involves being out of business, you can still be on the road. You just become more of an urban type camper, which means you're going to either be doing stealth camping, or you are going to be finding a really inexpensive place to camp, or at a friend's house or some land nearby where you work. But it's not an impossibility. Do not rule out getting away from having to pay a mortgage or rent simply because you think you have to go live in a desert somewhere. You don't. If you've got a good job or an option to do a good job in a town or a city, and look into it, see if there's places that you can park your vehicle to live into. And you can make money in a brick and mortar, even if it's a temporary thing for like a month or two. Whatever you probably pay for a place to camp near your job is still going to be cheaper than $800 or $1,500 for an apartment. So you're still way ahead. So don't get in your mind that you have to go out onto BLM or public land or dispersed camping or any of that. If you got a job that pays real well, you could still do that in different places, just simply by finding a cheap campsite or campground and pay monthly to get the rates down. So consider that. And if you don't have any ideas for that, if you know sales at all, you can get a sales job. You can pick up a job as a line cook in a restaurant or a waitress. You know, the other thing to do is if you're younger, you can be a day laborer. You know, you can go to one of these temp agencies and pick up a job every day you want to, just by showing up and doing some hard labor. It pays pretty good. So anyway, those are some ideas. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to put some links below on some places that you can check out. This is not an exhaustive list. You really need, and I really encourage this, I mean, you found where we are and you're watching this on YouTube. If you're going to live a nomadic life, you've got to really get into the digital world and know how to research things. You need to get apps to find out where you can get cheap gas. You need to get apps to know where you can camp for free or you can camp for cheap. You need to be able to use Google or Bing or any search engine to really double and triple check where you're going and what's going to happen. So I'd encourage you, the first thing you do is to do that. okay, first. Okay, so the next thing is you don't want to do a brick and mortar, and but you saw like Nomad land, and you like the idea of seasonal jobs. You've heard about work camping, you've heard about Amazon and the beet harvest, things like that. There are tons and tons and tons. I mean, you don't have to worry about an income. Most of these take people that are a little older. So you can be in your 30s, you can be in your 60s. Some people do it in their 70s. It is absolutely possible to do them. The beet harvest is going to be a little bit more physically demanding, and it's going to be harsher outdoor climate. But there's things like, if you saw in the movie, I think Walled Drug, people were flipping burgers and doing things. You can go there. You can, of course, do Amazon. But again, don't limit yourself to those. There's links below for those, but don't limit yourself to that. Spend hours and hours and hours researching and checking and following links and reading up. And I think you'll be surprised that there are a lot of seasonal jobs. And by seasonal, I don't mean just in the summer. In the autumn, sometimes in the winter, lots of things like that. Oh, yeah, there's, of course, work camping. We don't like to work camp because it kills your summer. But for a lot of people who need money and you don't mind staying in one place, there are thousands, literally thousands of campgrounds that are looking for camp hosts. And they either just give you a free place to stay, or they pay you a minimum wage or a weekly stipend or a percentage of how much money you bring in from campers. And you basically collect fees, clean campsites and toilets, and handle any other issues. And they usually go from maybe April through September, something like that. So look into that. If you're in Arizona and Quartzsite in the winter, in January, you can go to the Big Tent. And there are tons and tons of work camp options, and people have their booths set up to recruit you. But again, you can do it on the internet, and I'll put a link just to one idea below. But again, research everything you can. Don't just pick one and then go with it. You're at home or you have access. Take your time, do your homework, do your research. You know, measure twice, cut once. Now, the last one is what I do, and I'm a digital nomad. If you have the skills to do something online, your only limitation is being connected to the internet when you need to do it. Now, if you're someone like a copywriter or a proofreader, or you write articles, you don't need to be on the internet just except when you upload it. But for people like me that may teach English online, or you're a job coach, or anything, you will need to be limited to wherever there's good internet. Now, I've also invested in WeBoost, cell phone booster, and then I also have a unidirectional antenna that I can put about 15 feet up in the air that can catch a cell signal and boost it from up to 15 miles away, as long as you can see the cell tower. So there are some expenses there, but I've earned that money back easily within the first couple of weeks. So yeah, being a teacher, being a consultant, being a web designer, whatever skills you have digitally or you would like to have, there's ways and there are paths for you to get to where you want to go to make some money. So keep in mind to that. Again, there's no magical links, you know, but you've got to research it. Think about what you can do, what you're going to be capable of learning to do. So for instance, teaching, it helps if you have a college degree. And if you don't, you need at least like teaching English as a foreign language certificate, and you go online, look under TELF certification online, and you will find schools that may be $400, and it's a 120-hour course. And with that, most schools in Russia and China will hire you to teach English online. Again, don't contact me asking me how you do it. I just don't have time to teach you, but get online and do your research. And so how do you get paid with these things? Well, brick and mortar is easy. They're going to give you a W-2 or a 1099, and you're going to you're going to have to handle that through your taxes. You also have to pay the state tax wherever you're at. Okay, when you do seasonal jobs, same thing. They will probably give you a 1099. You're not going to get medical insurance and all of those types of things long term. So you'll get a 1099 and you will have to pay federal as well as state income tax. And if you're under Social Security level or within benefits, you may have to pay money on that. When you teach or do anything as a freelance person, I use PayPal, and PayPal, like I'll teach maybe Russians, and all of my payments will come from Russia through PayPal, and then PayPal goes right into my bank account, and then you can do your own tax reporting if you so choose. So those things are all possibilities. It's a lot of work to prepare for this, but I just want to let you know the basic concept of being able to be financially secure, or at least having money on the road, is 100% absolutely positive. It depends on you looking to see, first of all, what you love to do, or what you're at least willing to settle to do in order to live this lifestyle, and then picking which one of those kind of fit what type of nomadic lifestyle you want. Okay, that's it for today. I just tried to cover the basic ideas of A, if you want to do it, you can do it. B, 3 main areas: brick and mortar, seasonal, and digital nomads. Those are the 3 main areas. Anyway, that's it for now. I hope this helped you. And if you know of other types of jobs that have worked for you, or you think would fit, please put them in the comments below, because a lot of people read all of these comments, and then I make comments back, and people give me some positive feedback on my comments. So if you have any ideas, write them down below, and you know the idea: like and subscribe and all of that stuff. And again, special thanks to our saviors on Patreon. Patreon's that place where you can go in. If you like the work we do, you can chip in $2 a month. Most people can afford that, but when we get 15 or 20 people doing that, $2 a month, it really makes a difference for us. So thanks again to our Patreon folks. There's a link below if you're interested in helping out. Other than that, folks, we will see you down the road.